What are we gonna do about this, guys? What is going on? Crunchyroll promised us multi-dub. 7 separate languages or something, right? Simulcast. You know what simulcast means? Simultaneously, it's gonna happen. But it's not happening. And why is that? Because, also, shout outs to Freshest Anime. I was checking if he did Lord of the Mysteries in Chinese. I think that he's also waiting. I think that maybe, I don't know what's going on. But I made a poll over here, right? Which Lord of the Mysteries dub should we watch? And, of course, the weebs are gonna come out and all vote Japanese dub. There's a lot of comments here, and I want to give you my input after reading the comments and tell you what my game plan is for this. So, the 3 main dubs I think that we're gonna do is Japanese, Chinese, and English, right? I don't think it makes sense to react in Spanish dub. What else is there? German dub, whatnot. Neil did it in Chinese, really. Neil Desai. He did 3 hours ago. All right, he's spearheading the movement, you know, with Lord of the Mysteries. Oh, also Wistoria, Wistoria hype. That's pretty hype. Anyways, Neil's going in with Lord of the Mysteries. Let's see some of the comments. Wonder if anyone is saying anything about, you know, the dub and shit like that. Dub. Nobody's really talking about dub. Oh no, there's a couple, right? Is it only Chinese dub? So JP dub isn't available right now? Yeah, it's not, right? Nobody really knows Japanese. Honestly, this anime is overrated. Rimuru Tempest 3706. Overrated. Oh my god, just fucking retards. Anyways, let's get back on the topic. The comments, let's read them. Lamau, not even surprised. How many people want JP? Well, yeah, because we're watching anime. It's otaku, weeb culture. Everyone is always arguing about what's better, dub or sub. The sub right now being obviously Japanese dub, and the dub in that context meaning English dub. And everyone is always saying Japanese better, Japanese master race. And I think that the hardcore weeb community, which is pretty much the silent majority here, they want the Japanese dub. I'm so sad many people are voting Japanese, but it's understandable. I watched it in Chinese and it was phenomenal. Just weird that they didn't translate Celestial Worthy's honorific name. It's translated in the trailer, so I'm kind of confused. Interesting, there is some translation issues going on. It's probably some Crunchyroll bullshit, right? I'm watching it with Russian subs and it's so bad. Like half the names are different. Also in the subs, the sequence to the spectator is audience, which was odd. Okay. I also noticed that it's weird. So basically like some specific words are being mistranslated. Classic. I just took a Crunchyroll subscription for this lol. I'm not disappointed. This kills me. Come on, bro. Come on. Y'all still pay for fucking Crunchyroll and shit like that. All right. You do you with your money. And yeah, whether it's in Chinese or Japanese, but as far as I've seen, the JP dub isn't out yet, and episode 1 was fire. Recommend watching it in Chinese since it can be your starting point in more Chinese media. My goal isn't to consume more Chinese media in Chinese dub. My goal is to consume content that my audience wants in the way that they want it. If that means we're watching Chinese anime, donghua, in Japanese dub, then that's what I'm going to pursue. We don't need to watch it in Chinese dub. Same, gotta watch in 4K. Subs are inconsistent, blah, 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 just shitting on Crunchyroll. Cool, but there's one problem. The dubbing hasn't come out yet, and honestly, I'm not sure if it will come out today. Maybe in 1 to 2 weeks, I don't know. This is the problem, bro. This is the problem. If we look at Lord of the Mysteries English dub, like, when is this happening? So there's a Reddit post over here. So the Lord of the Mysteries, let's see it. Airtime dub has still not been revealed by Crunchyroll, which implies that dubs will be behind in the Mandarin dub. Like when Solo Leveling was airing, remember that like the English dub was always like 1 to 2 weeks behind or something like that, right? Even like I remember Roshitere. Do you guys remember Roshitere? Right? If you guys don't know, basically, if we just go over here, one of my most popular videos is just a Roshitere reaction with fucking incest stuff going on. But I remember us checking out English dub to see what this girl Yuki was saying in crazy English with, oh, I'm stuck, stepsis. And I noticed that it was a couple weeks behind too. That seems to be the standard. Like we have absolutely no clue because there is no news. There is absolutely, we're in the blind right now. So it's all up to speculation, right? No worries, I'm thinking about watching in both languages. I don't care about the dub. I'll watch it in sub because I want to see the anime ASAP. I'll watch both Japanese and Chinese. I want to watch it in Japanese dub with English sub. Anyone know it'll be released? Absolutely nobody knows, man. And that's why we're in the dark right now. Let's read some of the comments. Probably hasn't finished the editing since it's quite a rush. Muse even hasn't uploaded a single episode yet. Muse Asia right now, right? I would definitely go with the original language for it. Expresses the voice in the most natural way. What does that mean? The most natural way you can express the voices of Clyde Moretti in Victorian England era is, oi, bruv, it's me fucking Clyde Moretti in it on a cheeky fucking Tuesday. We here to watch some Lord of the Mysteries, yeah? What the fuck is Chinese dub gonna do for my immersion in this alternate Victorian era? Just because it's a Chinese anime doesn't mean that, like, oh, it's the Chinese voice acting. That's gotta be Chinese. I'm not here to watch Chinese. I'm here to fucking watch some British dubs, man. I'm just sad that so many people are not in the same opinion. Yeah, because it makes no sense. Why would people watch a fucking European setting anime in Chinese dub? Most people are gonna prefer Japanese, most likely, due to the otaku weeb culture, and then fucking English maybe, right? Wish Chinese would win, but oh well. Also, by the way, the comment section here are just the vocal minority who are just upset and frustrated that Japanese is winning. This is how it works in real life. This is the silent majority. These people simply click and then go on with their lives and do whatever they want. The people that get angry basically are the ones that comment. So I just want to tell you, like, this is what a vocal minority is. English dub is better for the lore accuracy and better to hear in your reactions, and Chinese dub is second choice because it's the original voices, but obviously most anime fans want JP dub because it makes them feel more like weebs. This is a very callous comment making fun of the weeb community, but he's right. He's absolutely right about this part. Just this part, right? I don't agree about the Chinese dub because it's the original voices. That literally doesn't fucking matter to me. I don't care if this is a Chinese studio making a Chinese anime. Just because it's that doesn't mean that, like, it should automatically be Chinese. Like, there's some other examples in the comments I'm going to read and give you my logic around this, but this I do agree. But most anime fans want JP dubbed because it makes them feel like weebs. That's just how it works. That is literally the culture that has been built upon decades and decades. Why would you think that people who are used to listening to Japanese voice acting, familiar with it, would intentionally choose something else? Even if the Chinese dub is good, even if the English dub is good, the weebs don't care because this is what they're familiar with, and of course they're going to go with that. Try source language Chinese first, bro. There's going to be a lot of things that represents the language in the donghua anyway, so it's a logical choice. I don't know about that. English is a close second choice because the world is set in Western continents, so at least it'll fit the aesthetics of the place. Yep, finally someone who understands. I hate that people who say Japanese is better than English dub because the original, yet when it comes to Chinese and Korean anime, they fold and say Japanese is better even though it's not the original. No, it just comes to the fact that Japanese voice acting talent is elite. There is an environment in Japan that procures elite voice acting talent academies, right? Seiyu's there treat this shit like it's life or death. English dub can't compete. There are great English dubs, but on average, the base floor of competency in voice acting, Japanese is better. So that's why people prefer the Japanese dub. Like, you seem to think that your reality, that your understanding is the truth. It's not. You are the vocal minority. You're upset and confused because the silent majority prefers what they want to hear, what they're familiar with. Because that's not why people prefer Japanese. It's because JP voice actors are generally better at voicing acting than English. Exactly. There are some phenomenal English voice actors. Exactly. But overall quality of the English voice acting is kind of inconsistent based on the series. How many times have we seen English dub examples where it's just lack of any sort of fucking emotions and any sort of passion, bro? I don't need to understand what the Japanese voice actings are saying. I can simply hear it. I can simply understand. The fact that I understand English and it sounds cringe and lack of energy to me, but then I hear a foreign language where I don't even understand it, but it sounds better, I think that's extremely telling of the talent there, bro. If you don't know anything about the series and have to pick between English and Japanese, Japanese is a safer choice because it is better on at least 80%. I agree. Now, I don't know if 80% is like, this is kind of like bullshit numbers we're pulling out. There's no actual statistical studies that we've done, but I do agree that on average, Japanese voice acting superior. In terms of Japanese versus Chinese, though, it probably comes to familiarity with Japanese. If you're not used to Chinese language, it sounds weird compared to Japanese. Title 218 has basically just, this is my entire, that's my entire take too. This guy has summarized right now exactly how I feel about this. English dub, I don't give a fuck. Japanese voice acting are usually better. The difference between Chinese and Japanese, people are going to prefer Japanese because Chinese, even if it's good, because it sounds different, they're not going to want it. That's what the average person wants, right? I'm not here saying one is better than the other. I'm saying this is reflective of the current anime community. And for me to make content, I need to adhere to the silent majority. Because those are the people that actually fucking watch it. You motherfuckers don't really matter at the end of the day. You're just a bunch of upset monkeys crying in this post because your favorite dub and your reality is not shared between other people. Turns out you live in a fucking bubble, and if you talk to other people, you realize, oh shit, maybe the way that I see the world isn't the true reflection of like what reality is. Nah, bro, it's just the language itself. Japanese just sounds better, and the voice actors don't even need to go and try it, and it will sound good. Even if you're a regular Japanese citizen talking, it sounds good because the language is just more appealing, and it's not a matter of English and Chinese. Don't put their heart and soul into it. What a fucking retard. What, like, so your logic is Japanese language inherently sounds better to you, and it's not because English and Chinese don't put their heart and soul to it. Brother in Christ, you are so delusional. It is sad that you think that the English voice acting that gets shit on because they genuinely just fucking suck. You think that the English sounds like it's like English and Chinese basically sounds by default worse than Japanese, therefore English and Chinese bad. That's your logic. What a fucking dumbass, bro. It is proven that Japan has an elite environment of procuring talent. English voice acting is fucking nothing compared to it. Like, take another example. It's like this. Do you know why Korea is #1 in esports? Because they have a culture and an environment that dedicates the procurement of these talent. They treat this like life or death. English voice acting doesn't have the same degree of passion. It's not the same. It's just pure logic. English would have been perfect due to it being the perfect fit for the setting. And that episode 1 and 2 are kind of fast paced, so not looking at the subs would help. I kind of agree with the logic of like, because things are fast paced, you don't want to, read what's going on and listen and be able to pick up everything. That's a skill issue though, right? To the average person, maybe you need the English dub. To me, I'm built different, baby. I can listen to a foreign language while reading the subs, while looking at the actual imagery and the visuals being portrayed, while talking to chat and engaging at the same time because I'm built different. Watch in Chinese language, Kaka, because it's original. And you watch in Japanese dub, it will not lip sync with character, and Chinese language sounds better. Me, when I make shit up. How do you know that the Japanese dub will not lip sync properly? What about like animes like Link Click or To Be Hero X? Like, I don't know. Like, we'll have to see, right? Maybe he's right. I don't know. We'll have to actually see about that, right? Language sounding better is a preference, not a fact. Absolutely. It is entirely a preference. And sometimes there are people, more people that prefer, one specific thing than others, right? That's why and clearly that specific thing is a Japanese. It is Chinese, is original. Why don't watch in Chinese language, but can watch K-drama in Korean language? Laughing emoji along the, and then didn't finish his sentence. So this is a decent argument here. I actually enjoyed this one, right? Because his argument is, well, this is a Chinese project. You should watch it in Chinese. Here's another example. Korean drama, people watch it in Korean, right? He's right about that. But you can't compare these two things. Let me bring up Apothecary Diaries, for example, right now. Y'all know Apothecary Diaries? This is a Japanese anime in a fucking alternate Chinese setting. That's what this anime is. Who the fuck is watching this in Chinese dub? Nobody. Or at least I'm not aware of. You know why? Because this is grounded in weeb otaku culture anime. It doesn't matter what the setting is. Here's another example. ReZero. Why are people not watching ReZero in English dub compared to, I guess, the majority watching Japanese sub? Or even Mushoku Tensei, right? Let's even check Mushoku. Come on. Let's even take Mushoku Tensei, right? This is also medieval European setting. Konosuba. Actually, Konosuba English voice acting, I hear actually really good, and people prefer that. What else is there? Overlord? Is Overlord? This is definitely not in a Japanese setting, right? What I'm trying to show you is there is so many different isekai animes that are based in a medieval European setting. Why do they watch it in Japanese? Because they like it better. It has nothing to do with like, oh, this setting it's medieval England, therefore it must be English. None of that fucking shit matters. The difference between the anime versus the Korean drama is that Korean drama doesn't have that anime culture, right? Korean drama has a separate culture of people that watch Korean dub only. This is why. In fact, this example, if you truly understood the different categories, you're making the same, your argument literally proves my point. There is a culture of Korean drama enjoyers that only watch Korean drama. There is a culture of anime enjoyers that only watch anime. To think that just because this is a Chinese studio making a Chinese anime, which is also funnily enough in a fucking Victorian English setting, to think that there's an entitlement of Chinese preference, that's just ridiculous, bro. People simply want to be familiar and be like comfort in whatever, you know, environment that they grew up in. That's it, bro. Mandarin is pure cinema? Maybe it is, bro. British dub, my beloved? If there is British dub, that'd be so funny, bro. I wish that there was gonna be Lord of the Mysteries like a British, bro. Let's go JP dub. Just use what you want. Well, here's the thing. I can't really use what I want because what matters in terms of making content is adhering to what the majority wants. But turns out, I want Japanese right now, right? I want Japanese. Do Chinese and Japanese for ultimate farming. You know, I think that we can definitely check out, there is a novelty that goes away once you've already seen it in one dub and try to rewatch the same thing again, right? But we can like farm clips, right? I think that we can definitely farm clips of like different significant sections in different English like or Chinese dubs and just kind of like go off of that. Chinese, because we're not getting To Be Hero X dub treatment, unfortunately. This is something that I also heard because, also, thank you, Orosilo, for the Prime 9 minutes ago. I appreciate that, man. I was too locked in. The issue about this is To Be Hero X is working collaboratively with Aniplex. That's why the dub, I think, was happening simultaneously rather than being behind. Or at least these are the comments that I've heard after doing some research. I don't think Aniplex or any other big producer distributors are kind of working with, you know, Lord of the Mysteries. That's why it's a bit different in this case. I watch it in English. How did you watch it in English? It's not fucking out, bro. What are you making shit up? They skipped their poor slice of life. Yeah, well, anything, it's always, you know, what's it called? Pacing issues, right? I'm gonna watch it in Japanese, Chinese, French, +1, frame by frame. Go enjoy, bro. Do whatever you want. Yo, just praise the fool in any language at this point. Just do it in Chinese. I need you to react, brother, please. My broke ass can't subscribe to Crunchyroll. My brother in Christ. The internet exists. You need to be more savvy online. Japanese dub isn't out yet? I know. Truly the end of an era. I'll miss your reactions, BBG. I don't care. Like, if you think that I care about your single, like, view, you are insignificant. No one cares about you. Like, don't let the door hit you on the way out. In fact, I'll just do this too. Get the fuck out of my face, bro. I'll just ban you like that, dumbass. Bro, this is not Japanese anime. Why they want Japanese? Just do English. It's easier to focus on your reaction when we won't have to re-subtitle as well. What is this logic? Genuinely, what is this logic, bro? Like, okay, first of all, this part is straight up a skill issue. Your brain is so fucking slow that you don't even make content live reacting. I do this shit live reactions and I have no issue. You are literally too fucking slow. But then again, your poor genetics and lack of talent is not your fault. Blame your parents. That's not a sin on your part. But this part, what the fuck does that mean, bro? What about like Link Click and To Be Hero X? Do you think that just because it's a donghua, that somehow it must be in Chinese? At the end of the day, all of this shit, and in China, I'm sure they're gonna watch it in Chinese dub because that's the culture there. But in the international audience, it doesn't fucking matter what studio, what background it came from. What about another comparison, right? What about Korean shows? Tower of God. What about Tower of God? What about, what's the other, Tibet? Those are Korean series. Now, it was adapted by a Japanese studio. So suddenly, like, we should be watching it in Korean instead of Japanese. I don't think it even have fucking. Yes, there's Solo Leveling too. That's another. That's the biggest one, right? What about Solo Leveling? Well, I guess just because it was done by a Japanese studio that it kind of works like that. Let's think about this logic for a second, right? Bruh, this is not an English show either. Why do you want English? Because it sounds better than hearing Japanese to me, and easier to focus on what's actually happening. Listen, if you prefer the English dub, you should watch the English dub. If your brain is too slow to be able to read subtitles, then watch the English dub. Again, a skill issue, but that's valid. You should do what you want. But like, it is a terrible fucking like projection of your reality onto others. Other people don't have this skill issue. Other people are very content with what they have. And I will always go Japanese dub over English dub most cases. I prefer to read the manga or novel over non-English dub anime. Also, everyone hates Chinese sub, so that's not even a choice. I don't understand this part. There is definitely anti-Chinese sub propaganda happening. Now, I'm just going to be completely real with you. Whenever I play Genshin Impact or Wuthering Waves or other gacha games where there is Chinese dub and Japanese dub, I always choose Japanese because it's familiar to me. I think that the Chinese dub, some people say that it's very monotone, right? And maybe it has to do with their language and culture and how Japanese voice acting, there is a bigger range. I don't know. These are assumptions I'm trying to think of, like, why don't people prefer Chinese dub? I think at the end of the day, it's less of that monotone argument, but more of like what they're familiar with, right? People are familiar with Japanese dub growing up watching anime, therefore they're going to stick to that rather than try something else. What else is there? It's not about easier or harder, but which one is more nicely to be a pleasure to our ear, and for the majority of the times, it's JP dub, that's it. He's right. Slathio4654 is absolutely right. Most anime watchers prefer Japanese voice acting. That's it. It's not hard to follow subs as well. Exactly, bro. It's hard to follow sub reactions since it's small on my screen. I feel bad for making fun of him now. I feel bad. No, it's not funny. It's no, straight up. This is a kid watching it from his phone. No, come on. Like, listen, not everyone has like the privilege of like a PC. A lot of people are just like watching it from their smartphones. This is probably just a kid, you know, that enjoys watching anime and, you know, has a small phone to watch it from and has nothing else. And I feel bad now. God damn it. At least try Mandarin for the premiere as a start. I haven't disregarded that mindset just yet. I don't know. We'll see. When is he live? Right now. Whenever he wants to be live. Just follow the Twitch to get the notification. True. Chinese! London. The thing with Japanese dub is that the quality is just way higher than the other languages since the culture regarding voice acting is really competitive and sought after. Exactly. There is an elite environment of training seiyus there, bro, which is different. Smart to confirm using polls, yep. Yeah, reasonable. Low-key English should be better as it would fit the story context better. Well, listen, I'm not against that. Like, if the English dub truly was that peak, maybe we should watch that instead, right? Like, when I think about English dub, I'm thinking like the most soulless English dub that happens, right? But there are very specific cases where English dub sometimes is better. Like think like Taite Ban or something for like Solo Leveling. He does an amazing job. But not everyone is like that, right? If the entire roster was elite English dub talent, maybe that would enhance my immersion in this British setting, man. I don't know, In my opinion, dub is the way to go for this. English dub. Because Crunchyroll link click English dub was really good. Same thing goes for it to be Shibi Hero X. We'll have to wait to see, you know, the English dub to come out because that still hasn't come out just yet either. You can watch the dubbing you want. Don't care what other people say because the people who come to watch your reaction, they already finished watching the anime and then come to watch the reaction. Even if you watch the Vietnamese dub, they will still watch a reaction. That's not how things work, bro. Me, when I don't make content and I just make shit up confidently and other retards just like to comment. I remember Neil. Again, I remember the big debacle that happened with Neil when Neil with the Code Geass, bro. Anybody remember this? I think we farmed the drama back in the day, right? And this is the video, 30K views a year ago. This is so basically like Neil wanted to go the English dub route because he's like, this is too sweaty. I don't want to like listen to the fucking subs, sorry, read the subs and try to do all this shit. Code Geass is too dense, and he was like, I'm gonna watch the English dub instead. Made a video. Everybody disliked it. Everybody stopped watching because guess what? It does fucking matter. So like to say that it doesn't matter, you are ignorant. You don't know what you're talking about. Or are you saying that if you don't watch the JP dub, they will unsubscribe from your channel? I don't know about unsubscribe, but a lot of people would simply just not watch as much. They just want to watch your reaction. They don't even hear the anime in your reaction clip. You're just making shit up. So those who vote for JP dub are ridiculous. I voted for the English one. This comment is just the most ignorant, I think that I am right, even though I'm wrong comment, bro. Since JP dub isn't out yet, most of the audience, JP dub enjoyers, hasn't watched the show yet. And if he uploads their reaction before the most audience watch the episode, they won't watch the reaction either, which would send bad signals to the algorithm. That is an interesting one. Guys, type 1 in chat if you've already seen Lord of the Mysteries in Chinese dub. Type 2 if you're waiting for Japanese dub. I know that like there's a decent amount of people here right now. There's like 525 people here, but and 525 at the end of the day isn't like reflective of tens of thousands of people on the YouTube side, but just kind of want to see like what people are here about. I see a lot more ones than twos. There's a mix, right? There's definitely a mix of ones and twos going on, but I think that I'm seeing a lot of ones. And it makes sense because you guys are like the most sweaty, right? Because I don't think you are the average people. Like you're showing up to my stream at 4:54 in the fucking morning, excited to see about Lord of the Mysteries. So it makes sense to me that like you guys, the more hardcore dedicated community of enjoyers, of course you're going to want to watch it immediately, right? Yeah. You guys are sweaty weebs. Nah, a lot of people watched it already, huh? I don't know what I'm going to do. Most people that watch the anime just prefer JP. They recognize voice actors and etc. That's it. You can watch in what you want, but calling people ridiculous just because they're choosing something preferred is dumb. Absolutely agreed. I finished watching with Chinese dubbing, and yes, people who think that all animes in the world must be watching a JP dub only. It's really sad. They don't even open their minds in other things. No, they tried it. It's really this simple. Just because people don't agree with you and don't want to listen to the English dub, it doesn't mean that they're ignorant. They've listened and they realized, I don't like this. I'm going to go with the JP dub. If anything, you're the ignorant one for just rejecting that reality. It's 2025, guys. Like, To Be Hero X, even though it's a Chinese donghua, the creator's Chinese, the studio's Chinese, but just because people watch the Japanese dub, they think it's a Japanese anime. None of that shit matters. What matters is people wanting to watch the show in the language that they want to hear. Like, none of that shit fucking matters. And then some people complain that the dub doesn't match. That is true. The dub and the subtitles didn't really match for the Queen versus Boa fight. That is true, though. If you just watched it in the original Chinese dub, it'll be more accurate. And coming back to this, just because it's not going to be more accurate. Like, what is this notion, bro? Do you think I understand Mandarin? What are you fucking talking about? Crunchyroll already fucked up the English subs. People are complaining. You think that if I watch the Chinese dub, somehow my experience is gonna be way more loyal to what the source material is intended? I don't know Chinese! Because the character names and places are in the Victorian era, the original Chinese dub doesn't feel right. The Chinese voices use Chinese accents to call the characters, but the dub doesn't match the subtitles at all. If you want a good experience, you should watch the English dub, but right now it's not available. Yeah, whatever. What else is there? Chinese dub is not exciting at all. They are monotone. That's the other comment that I read about, right? I don't know about that. Korean based. Is a Japanese dub out? Not up till now. Okay, my final take is this, and I'm gonna give you a little bit of an example. People seems to have this like entitlement that like, oh, this is a Chinese anime made by a Chinese studio, Chinese source material. Therefore, it must be done in Chinese. Listen. If you want to listen to it in Chinese, go for it. But to expect other people to follow that is stupid. You know why? Here's another example. Genshin Impact, Honkai Star Rail, and even Wuthering Waves. These are Chinese games made by Chinese studios. And I don't have the numbers to back this up, but I do believe that vast majority of people prefer the Japanese dub in those video games. If it's truly the case that like you must, and here's the interesting thing too, right? Genshin Impact, I know there's a lot of different regions, right? But I'm trying to make a comparison of like Genshin Impact and Wuthering Waves. Both Chinese games, Chinese studios. Wuthering Waves is more Chinese environment-esque. Maybe that's wrong. Because like obviously Genshin Impact obviously has like, you know, Chinese influenced regions and Japanese influenced regions. But what I'm trying to tell you is just because it's done by a Chinese studio doesn't mean that it's going to be better in Chinese. Maybe to you it will be, but at the end of the day, people simply want to hear what they want to hear. And because the animation community, it's heavily grounded in Japanese dub, and that's what people grew up with, that's why people go with that, right? It's the same logic of Korean drama with Korean, you know, dub. Why are people not watching Korean dramas and Korean dub? No fucking shit, because the culture there has been watching it and listening in Korean. Why would you expect somehow people to watch it in Japanese dub? It's all about the culture and the environment that's been rooted in these communities and what people want to hear. So right now, I think that I am not going to react until the Japanese dub comes out, but this is not a guarantee. If the Japanese dub release is egregious and it is actually like taking too long to come out, I may just do Chinese. If the Japanese dub comes out and it's actually ass, that it's like not good, I might just watch the Chinese one instead. We have to wait and see on a day-by-day basis. There are no guarantees, but this is what people want from my community. It's in my best interest to give what the bigger majority wants. People complaining and crying in his comment sections, I've already addressed every single one of you. If you don't want to watch this shit, get the fuck out of my channel, bro. I don't care. That's pretty much it. Bye-bye.